Welcome back to the show, my people. Now, I said on Twitter a while ago, podcasts have become the latest pandemic in the UK. And I think it's safe to say that it has now seeped into the Nigerian atmosphere, and we now have a podcast pandemic on our hands. I'm ready to get into the discussion, but as you know, I'm not doing this alone. I've got two special ladies right here with me to eat into this conversation. I've got the beautiful model and events planner, Naya Onyekulu J. I like to call her Naya Berry by her Instagram name, Naya. How are you doing,
guys?
gorgeous?
I'm good. How are you?
7 long legs for days.
Looking
We short
good
people,
yourself.
we can't relate. We can't relate. And we have the ever stunning, ever gorgeous, beautiful MC extraordinaire, Shehu Banko. I love the energy I'm getting from you guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So now let's get into the topic. Let's get to the show. Let's get the show on the road. Now, podcast, you guys. As we know, there's been a lot going around lately. I mean, the last time we talked about sexual solicitation in the movie industry, and it was Kunle Remy detailing his experience on a podcast with Nedu and Husband Material. Now, for the past few days on social media, everyone has been going off about a new podcast that just launched with the popular Instagram comedian Caramel Plug and her friends. Now, the fuss has largely been around their requirements for men in relationships. I think we should check out the video first before we dive right into all this discussion.
Men, they want you to submit, cook for me, wake up every morning, 5 a.m., pack my lunch, stroke my ego. But you don't want to provide, you don't want to make her feel comfortable. So if you're coming to a woman's life and you're saying, oh no, I want you to be submissive, you have to be ready to make sure that you're ticking all these boxes, you're doing all these things for her. Women have men for everything, ones who give them gifts, the ones who are just there, who just want to sleep with you. If I'm going to submit to you wholeheartedly, I'm going to be vocal about what I want, because you've already cut off all the other people that could buy it for me. And now you've come to stand in the center and say, I'm the one that must be for you. You have to be able to provide. Don't worry, every day, papingo jambalaya. Hey, you wait. Submissive, but you won't even have to ask me to be submissive to you.
It comes in very naturally.
Because it will just come naturally. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Please, should I help you? Should I give you?
Now there has been several opinions. Social media has gone off with all the different opinions on this conversation, and with a lot of people disagreeing and a good number agreeing. Now, before we get into other people's views, and the questions that we have for today, I want to just find out from my guests first. What's your stance on this conversation being held by Carmel and her friends? I can see us already laughing, but let me start with you, Naya Berry. What's your stance on this conversation that they just had?
I think at some point I was agreeing with her till when she got to the part where she said girls have men for everything. Sorry, what?
You didn't have?
No, I didn't have one because I didn't know that we are collecting one for everything. Because you get. But I understand the part that she's if you're going to want a woman to be all in, and be the normal traditional woman, submissive, doing the things that are traditionally so you have to be a provider, which is your own traditional.
But I get where you're coming from. Sure, I'm going to come to you right now, but let me just quickly check. What Naya said. She said, if you want a woman to be the traditional submissive woman and all of that. Well, I want to ask you. When did we start being submissive when we are not married? It's not your husband. Oh. Because I didn't. What's your stance on their conversation? What's your stance on their conversation?
I absolutely do not agree with what she said, but did she lie?
Did she lie? Which part did she lie?
Do some women not have men for everything? Check it.
I don't know about you people.
I cannot relate to it.
I don't know.
It's not my passion, but I know it happens to certain people. I know women that have men for rent, for fuel, for phone, for parents' expenses, for siblings' expenses, for school fees, for trips. Did she lie? No. Did she have to say it on the podcast? No. Yes.
Okay.
And then I have an issue with the fact that she said you want to be submitted to one submissive to one partner, but you have different men because you've blocked my chance of. So I'm like, wait, hold up. There's a discrepancy there. You want to submit to one person, but you have men for everything. Explain. It's not jealous.
Let's move right on now. As we know, there was a lot of feedback on this conversation from different social media accounts. One of which was from Buju, who asked, who is sharing podcast mic with dimwit? Now, Rapper Dan DZ tweeted, after listening to these podcasts, I just feel some of these women need to come out with their full chest and sell their private so that we can identify the non-sex workers easily. Life is too short to be falling in love with a prostitute. Now, I'm using a nice word because that's not even the word he used. Now, he adds that most of these modern day feminists will accept patriarchy if the man is rich enough. Now, I want to find out from you ladies. Now, are these guys in the wrong with their opinion?
No.
Straight up. You guys are ready. Like, you feel like they're not.
No. Because it sounds like they're like making it like a chore for guys to like buy them expensive things. And in return, what exactly? Like, I want them to say with their chest what they are giving what they're giving for them to like spend that much.
So it's not like an exchange, trade by barter. You know,
that's what
you
it sounds like.
You bring
submission.
It's not submission.
Let's be honest.
You bring your body, and then you get money. So I saw a video recently where a woman that has sense was talking about why men should spend on their women, not even wives, girlfriends, partners. She said, when you date a high maintenance woman, there's a certain standard it gives you when you are with your friends, when you are with your family members or your colleagues, because you are with a high maintenance. So when you guys walk into a room together, people see you and they're like, oh my gosh, see my friend and his babe. Now that high maintenance, she would have been able to sustain it if you were not her man. But now you are here, pay for it. And I'm like, I agree, but I think this money thing should be mutual. If you spend on me, let me spend on you too. Yes. I don't think I should give you my body.
It's not like a one. It's not like a one-way stream. It's not that kind of body. But that's why I feel like a lot of ladies have now centered their essential part of being a relationship as you pay for this, you pay for that. Like you said, I have a man that pays for this.
And that's why many women are now entitled to their man's money.
Why are you entitled to any man's money that is not your father? Please
explain
to me.
Preach it.
I didn't give.
Can your daddy give you the money you're collecting from that man?
You need to explain to us. Now, Fire Girl on Twitter said that these girls Camera Pro has confirmed what he said in that podcast. Now, attaching a video of Nedu's podcast, which I think we should check out for clarity. Let's check that video out to get clarity on what he said.
You see all this Gen Z, most of them are poor. They cannot date a guy that cannot give them a particular lifestyle. These girls will come have like 10 guys. Now this man they pay in rent. Now this man they pay a fueling car. Now this man, when they want collect heavy, we go shaking leg.
Now this one they pay for
man
vacation.
Go shaking leg. 80% of the rent for like in a man they pay him.
Yes.
Is there a reason? Is there a reason why this is largely the case? I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation like this if it wasn't common. Now, the podcast from Caramel and her friends also clarified their expectations. So what is the reason that this is largely the case for, these young ladies, that it's now that somebody gonna be paid for this, gonna be paid? Why is this the case? What would you say is the case, Jill?
Number one, impatience. Number two, they want to belong. Yeah. So I see my friend, she has money, her father is rich, her father can sustain her, her father.
Emphasis on father.
And then me, I want to live large. I want to live like her. And I'm not patient enough to do my 9 to 5 where they will pay me what she spends every weekend. And there's a man that has money whose wife cannot satisfy him. That's for the married ones. Or for these younger guys that have money. And like Buju said, I blame the men that have made it possible for you to say such thing. There are men that actually spend on these women because of their bodies. They don't bring anything to the relationship. Zero thing on the table, zero value, and then they spend money on them. And because of that, they go outside with the narrative that, oh, I have a man for everything. And
you feel like it's something to be proud of.
Yeah, they say like you're actually supposed to be proud. Funny thing is, I didn't even know it was a thing until I saw this video, and then I'm like, oh, that's what's happening. I was not informed.
Now let's dig into the podcast business itself. Now, Daniel on Twitter says, podcast is a new pandemic in Nigeria. Be careful what you listen to and stand. A lot of your influencers are genuinely unintelligent. A lot are popular due to things that have nothing to do with intellect. Make sure you filter what you consume and use your brain to deduce. Now, some others are calling for a ban on podcasts. Would we really say that podcasts are getting out of hand in this part of the world, and should it really be banned?
No, I don't think they should ban
be banned. I think people are just airing their opinions. Like,
but some of the opinions are not opinions.
Yeah, so they're not forcing it down your throat. Okay. It's like they're saying what they believe. I mean, if that's what she does, she's saying it, she's
Saying
owning
it,
it, you know, she's
which
owning
line you are
it.
following.
Yeah, so it's
Feminist
not
and
like,
talk shows have always existed,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
we've always had people that have sense. But unfortunately, this generation,
There's social media to push everything
thank
out
you very
there.
much. Even the person that doesn't have sense, because he has social media following, he has this skills that everybody's laughing about. They feel like, oh, you're a celebrity, oh, yeah, come on my podcast, and then they'll come and they'll be giving us banter.
yeah, fact.
Now, that's what we found out. So now I personally think a lot of young people these days have a really dysfunctional idea of what relationships should be. Let's not even get into the conversation they had about submission, because we know where the word first stems from. And the good book says, submit to your husband. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry you decide to hang with for the meantime. And no, nobody that is not your husband is entitled to providing for you. Call your father at home, my dear. Call your daddy. And on that note, we'll be heading right into our next story right after the break. Keep it locked.
News Central TV, Africa's #1 storyteller, has come with the best of both worlds. With a combination of news app and live TV, we ensure that you keep track of the latest headlines, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from professional journalists from around the continent. Download the News Central TV app on Android and iOS and get started today. Don't forget to follow us on News Central's social media platforms. News Central, Africa First.
Welcome back to the show, Indeed Bam. Now let's get into the post Rihanna made on Instagram that had tweets running over her. Now, Bad Girl Riri posted a photo of herself and her baby boy with the caption, "My son is so fine. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. How crazy both of my babies were in this photo, and mommy had no clue." Now, a handful of people picked on the caption and went off about how she shouldn't be calling her son fine. Someone in the comments asked, who calls a baby fine? And of course, Rihanna, who never lets a troll go unscathed, replied, his mother, with triple exclamations. Now, another fan said, more like cute and adorable since he's not a grown man. And this mommy clapped back with, you keep your little cougar paws away from him and we're good. Now, she wasn't having any of it. There were just a whole bunch of tweets trying to bedevil her for calling her son fine. And I'm just wondering when our society got so sexually charged that almost every word has a different meaning from its original. Like, how did we actually get here? Now, Vida on Twitter says, love Rihanna down, but calling her son fine is not sitting well with my spirit. Please, I want to know. How does this statement make your spirit feel? Because since it's not sitting well with our spirit, I want to understand. Maybe the spirit inside us needs to figure out what's going on. How does this statement sit with your spirit, Naya?
Your spirit feels, makes me confused as to why their spirit is not sitting properly. Because for me, I know fine as good looking.
Yes.
And she thinks her baby is good looking. So what's the problem?
What's the problem?
I think the people that are sexualizing the word fine are the problem.
That's right. Let's start with that. Okay, now, Shehu. Is your spirit sitting well with this? Because I'm talking about is your spirit didn't feel it.
Are we okay in this country?
Yes.
Are you fine? Like, are we fine? When did a woman... The dictionary meaning of fine is excellence, first class, exquisite.
You have to go and
quality, outstanding, and admirable.
Shall we went to
Google? Is the boy not fine?
Googled it.
Is it not admirable?
Googled it.
I think because everybody has access to social media, people start to think they can say what they want to somebody's child. Rihanna thinks her boy is fine, and that's on period.
Thank
you. Your opinion and what your spirit is saying to yourself. It's not going to remove one strand of hair from the fine boy's head.
We need to check the spirit.
When you
need to check the spirit.
I think something is wrong with people.
Yeah,
like my friend said, we should do a mental check of people that should be on social media, and I totally agree. Everybody has access
pass
to
like
a
an
phone.
exam before you actually get on social media.
It doesn't sit well with my spirit. Who are you?
What's your spirit got to do with her baby?
Please. Okay. While we're still on air, since we're talking about like the society now, you know, taking things too far, right? So now I understand having a close functional relationship with your parents is ideal, but at what point does it get too much? Because before we answer this question, I need us to watch this video because we've talked about Rihanna and talked about the fact like it's not bad that she's calling her son fine and all of that, and talked about people having a very, you know, wrong mindset towards the word. Now, at what point does it get, you know, too much? So let's check this video out. I just need to understand, where do we draw the line? Where does the line come in all of this? Like when it comes to closeness to parents, because she made that video on her dad's birthday to say happy birthday.
Calling your son fine is here.
It is here.
But kissing your daddy on the birthday is here.
He's gone.
No. I think that's so far.
I don't mind like the kissing your dad on the lip, because I know like there are a lot of cultures that accept it. Yeah, no, I mind me kissing, but I don't mention one culture. But no, I know like I know people like by us
in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria, they kiss their parents on the lip.
Wow.
They do that. They do that. I think it's disturbing. I'm very uncomfortable when I'm around it. But I know like so. But then
I understand the little child kissing his dad, but as an adult,
I think it's weird. But I know like a lot of people do it. But then that video was a little too much. It's like if there's like a fine line between like
she was way above it.
Yeah,
are you sure that's a daddy or her daddy?
I don't think that's a daddy though.
Okay, so let me hear you. Like, what's that fine line for you?
So I think it's fine to celebrate your children, let them know that you love them.
Yes.
Peg them, kiss their foreheads when they are little.
Yes.
But she's an adult. Jesus, she's old enough to be married. I could swear that that's her husband or sugar daddy. So
daddy more like
sugar daddy. All right. So I really think that parents should know where to draw the line. As much as you are trying to create a balance, because you know how fathers are far from their daughters many times. I think this man is trying to say, you know what, be comfortable with me. If any man told you, tell me that makes a lot of sense, but not to the point of kissing.
I think they're doing too much. Yeah, there was caressing and all of that. I think it's too much.
Oh, you people. Are you sure is that okay? I'm
really and truly, there's a lot that's changed in society over the years, and I really don't know. Like, I really don't know where the line is anymore at this point. Now, of course, we can't say for different people how things work for them, but I hope we don't drastically veer off the track that has been placed out. Now, anyways, the itch is knocking on our door, and we'll get right into it after the break. Keep it locked.
Okay, great. So I think we still have.
It's time for the itchy itch of the day, and I just have one question, which we will come right to after we watch this video.
The older gentleman, well-established, also an attorney, recovering attorney actually, because he left.
There's a lot of us. There's more of us who used to be lawyers than are lawyers.
Right. Great guy, well-established, all of that, and there was just no chemistry. Like our sense of humor was different. We just didn't connect. And I was very much willing to just live that way because he checked everybody's list. Like, he's a smart guy, he's handsome, he was romantic, all of that. But there was no chemistry, and it was my girlfriends telling me, like, this is it. Like, this is the guy you should be with. We even went ring shopping. Like, I was really ready to take the leap, and that was it. And then ultimately I decided I couldn't live that way. I remember thinking specifically, I don't want to go on a double date sitting across from a couple who has that spark and being confronted with something that I will never have. I decided to walk away from that, and I remember the guy was thinking, like, what are you doing? Because I think he knew what he brought to the table. And I was really fearful when I walked away. And then when I met him...
Okay, now I want to find out, would you stay if he checked everyone's boxes, but doesn't feel like he is good looking, he's got a great job, he's got everything going for him, you can tell he will be a great father because he has like the character and everything. He has it all put together, but he doesn't just feel like the right person, like there's not that complete connection. Are you really willing to risk it? Like, you know what, because I feel like everything will be perfect in the marriage, let's just get it done.
I don't think so. Cause I think she made the right call because there's like chemistry is very important, and I really understand that, like being out like with other people who actually do have the spark, and then you're just sitting there across your partner like awkward, okay, like what's happening? What do we talk about? So like the chemistry is very important, and then if like he's ticking everybody's boxes, he's not ticking your boxes.
Okay.
So he needs to tick your boxes for that to work.
Okay, Cheryl, let me hear you.
Luchi is dicey.
Because you want that perfect man, but
And then
you're
probably at an age where you're like, am I still going to meet a single man who
That is
would like
boxes.
It's very dicey. See, I'm not in the situation, so I can't tell. But currently, I think I would not go ahead because me, I love love. If there's no butterfly in my stomach, I'm not going to
Okay,
so I think she made it.
I completely hear you, girls. I'm down with you on that completely because it's what's important. I think it's important to prioritize what's best for your future and know what others believe is best. Now, although there is a need to confirm that you do know what's best for that future that you envision, very important. Remember, my people, while we look forward to being scarred by the new episodes of podcasts that will be dropped this week, I do hope you stay safe and might watch and listen to. Till I see you next week, Yagazera Guitar. Have a nice day.